Hail, chelas of the will of God! I am come to salute you for your victories. Methinks you could sink the Brooklyn Bridge with your thumping Hail El MORYA. Therefore, warriors of the Spirit, be seated. The victories are many, and I salute you for them. I salute the soul, and I give you the formula for your victory, and that is to see to it that every day you have at least one more victory than you have defeats. Therefore, count your victories, small ones and great ones. Observe the mind as true Buddhists. Observe what the mind is doing and not doing, whether the mind is concentrating or not, whether you are in control of your life or not. Yes, beloved, count the downside and the upside. Always come out on top with more victories, even if you have to go out at 9 o'clock and find an opportunity to have a victory. Have one more victory than you have defeats that day, and then increase it by 2 and 3, and so you will never be behind, beloved, and therefore you can go to bed at night with a smile upon your lips, ready to enter the retreats, knowing that you have been the victor every day in every way. Oh, beloved, you must have fun at having the victory, and you must poke fun at those silly demons who are so serious about defeating you. Blessed ones, I must ask you, is it not a miracle of God that I may speak to you through this messenger?
Yes.
Somehow, sometimes, some people make out of true miracles an everyday happenstance. I trust you do not do this about anything that is the glory of God in your life, for to continue to appreciate the stars and the flowers and the trees and the lakes and the oceans and the simple things of life. This is true gratitude. And if you do not offer gratitude for the small and great things, then how shall you take the next step of glory and the next step of that alchemy more wondrous than the next? Therefore, be grateful for your holy Christ self. Be grateful that we have come thus far, for this movement is alive, it is purposeful, it is powerful, and it has within it some of the most unique chelas in the world that I have ever sponsored in many a century. You have heard our call for constancy and constant ones. Oh, for the constant heart. That was the original battle cry of the founding of the Summit Lighthouse, and it remains the battle cry. Not in a sudden thrust and then poof, nothing, but the daily moving forward, determined access to the light of Hercules and all the Blu-ray masters. Do not forget us ever again, for you need us to the hour of the victory of the age and the victory of your ascension. We have come out in full force, and you shall be hearing about ascended masters and angels whose names you have never heard, for they have volunteered and they insist that they will join your ranks and be a part of you. Yes, beloved, whatever you do for God, be it small or great, be constant in that doing, so that I do not have to come back and teach you the first scales on the piano again, because you have gone off in some other dimension of grandiose glory. The constant heart, beloved, if you keep plodding for me for 5 embodiments, I tell you it will be worth it all. And many among you here have been plodding for me, not 5 or 10 or 20, but for thousands of years you have been loyal to our cause. And again, I thank you for this. It has been said before, but I say it again. Find the level of your consciousness that is the lowest and that contacts the astral plane. For if you have a toe in the astral plane, blessed ones, you better have that toe and that tiger by the toe, because you see, beloved, if you are in any way tied to the astral plane, whether it is through soap operas or nonsense television, or all kinds of unseemly conversation, you are vulnerable when you still have those ties. Therefore, take your swords and cut yourself free. There are roots that tie you to the astral plane. Take that sword and cut underneath your feet. Cut those roots. Cut them by the sword of Archangel Michael. Demand and command the hosts of blue lightning to assign you whatever penance, whatever job. Remember, Hercules had his labors, and you must have yours also. And I tell you, you are never safe when any part of you is still in the astral plane. Therefore, go after that altar and make your calls and cut yourself free and give your astrayas and do your penances self-imposed. Do them, beloved. All faithful people in the world who do not have even a morsel of such teaching as you have now still perform their penances. This is the victory of an age, beloved, and you are seeing it. This is the ripcord that I now pull, for I am here, and CHAMUEL shall follow me. But I tell you, there has never been seen such determination of all the hosts of the entire Great White Brotherhood as you see here in this hour and in this place for that victory. I survey the nations, and I would speak to you about my observations. Won't you then be seated? There are those who are die-hard materialists, and you do waste your time going after them, for they have absolutely no connection to the spiritual octaves. There are others who do have strong ties to the spiritual octaves, but in this life they have gone astray into the world of materialism. I ask you then to know who you are after and to cut them free. A selfishness has become as a mist, a black mist over the nations of Europe. And that selfishness has been bred, whether through socialism or other factors. It is a pity, because you know the 10 tribes reincarnated on that continent, and they have gone astray. They did not move with Ephraim and Manasseh to the new land. They did not move. And so those who have descended in this nation are the children that have descended from Ephraim and Manasseh. You will understand this more and more. Make the call swiftly. The selfishness and self-love and all the indulgences of such a selfishness breed cancer in those who surround themselves with these energies. And the cancer is swift and it is sudden. Selfishness is the root cause of the cancer of the body. And then that cancer does increase by wrong diet, wrong food, toxins, etc. The diseases of the world are all based on karma. That is a fact. But there are some who have gone in to places of infestations, and they have gone as angels of mercy. And some of you have given your lives while tending the sick during the Black Plague of the 14th century. You have known and you have given in full sacrifice your lives for others. And when you have tended the sick, beloved, you have loved them as you would love Christ, as you would carry Christ down from the cross in your arms, as you see this vignette as the Blessed Mother holds him after he has come down from the cross. Yes, beloved, these momentums are within you. You have lived in ages when you were profoundly devout and had cities. And then you have gone into other ages where the outer world has taken you and taken you into its momentum. Remember the early days. Remember the days of yore when you knew who God was, you knew who you were, and you understood where you were going on the path. Yes, you have had those inklings despite the fact that all knowledge was not available to you. I ask you to look at your life as a long procession of changing of garments every so many decades. Some have been short lives and some long. See yourselves as on the movie screen in Darjeeling, that you might know how you have walked, that you might hear yourself conversing with others, that you might look at yourself objectively and see how much time and light and energy you have squandered, and how much more you could have accomplished in certain embodiments. There is not a single one of us on earth or in heaven today that does not regret the wasting of time and opportunity in a previous life. We keep those lives to the forefront of our minds, beloved, to remind us never again, by the grace of God, shall we waste energy, time, or effort in the cause of the Great White Brotherhood. Do not look at this life as something so great and special that you want to enjoy everything under the sun that you can possibly enjoy and still be a Chela on the path. Have a larger view of the soul and the life, and realize that you have tasted of every cup and drunk of it. You have tasted every fare that has been offered to you. You have been poor and wealthy. You have been beggar and king. Yes, beloved. I must ask the question and leave this in your mind for the conclusion of this mighty conference. Just how many times do you care to go through the old human ups and downs, the old human ways in this and that? How long will it take you to wean yourself of the lusts of the flesh, of the pulls here and there, etc., etc.? Now I am forcing you to look all the way back to the continent of Atlantis and all the way back to Lemuria. And I would tell you of a keeper of the flame of this community who recently passed on after a difficult illness. And that keeper of the flame knew, for he was told, also by Mark Prophet, that he was there on Lemuria, all the way back so many thousands of years ago. That one came through Lemuria, came through Atlantis, came through Europe and then back to the United States, and finally found the path of the teachings of the ascended masters. A long, 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 long road, beloved. To go back is a calculated risk, because you do not know what is truly back there waiting for you. To go back in the mists of time, in other civilizations, you will not find what Saint Germain has guaranteed you today. Things will not be like the 20th century superimposed upon the 9th century, beloved. Things will be as they were then, with no Saint Germain and the violet flame to intercede, without many masters who have since put themselves in position. A backward step, a single backward step, can put you backwards in time to such an extent that it will be like tumbling down a tunnel that goes straight into the earth in the astral plane. And when you finally reach the bottom, and you pick yourself up and you brush yourself off, and you look around you, you will say, where am I? What am I doing here? I say to you then, do not take Almighty God for granted. Do not take the heyday of dispensations that you have received since the 1950s to the present through these messengers. Do not take anything for granted, not even that the sun rises and sets, or the rain falls and the crops are harvested. The day and the hour will come, beloved, when you will have all you can do to have your victory and clean escape from a picture that does not look rosy from our viewpoint. And this is not to contradict our ultimate goal for the victory of the Aquarian age. You are still in the dregs of Pisces, and these dregs are certainly bowing down the greatest and the least of people. I say, hold fast what thou hast received. This is the command of the Knight Commander. Gain ground in your life and in your soul, then hold it. Write it in your journal. Note the day and date. This day and date I have vowed never to take a backward step, and never to let my failures exceed my victories. Blessed ones, it is the only sure road to success. Each and every day another step up the mountain. Each and every day moving toward the sun. Keep your eye on the sun and do not look back, for you can have it in this life. Do not take it for granted. These are my words to you, beloved. Do not take anything for granted, and in so doing, you will take responsibility 100% for your ascension. Do you understand this, beloved?
Yes.
Go away with this mighty truth. Go away empowered by all of us of the first ray. Yes, beloved, whether it be a thimble full or a barrel, there is nary a one of you who shall depart from this retreat without an increase of the blue flame. Guard the flame. Do not misqualify it, For when we come again a year's hence, we want to find that you have kept what you have increased, else we cannot give you again and multiply it. This way is not hard, but you must be fastidious in your self-discipline if you would know the favors of the masters of the first ray and the Mahachohan. The Mahachohan, the representative of the Holy Spirit, that one, make him your dearest friend and companion on the path, and be willing to submit to his disciplines, for he knows whereof he takes you, and so do I.